Hi, everybody. It's David Skrika here. It's the September 27th. I'm doing this on the evening of the 26th. This is going to be a fun episode. Today is actually, I said yesterday, but the 27th, because it is my birthday. And I started Addicted to Profits about 25 years ago. And now we're kind of turning it into Stock Chart of the Day. This will be my last day on YouTube. I've already got it. Like if you go to YouTube, I'll show that in a second. It's at stock, SCOTDAY. I'm just going to get that right now so people can see it. And it's still called the profits. And then I'm going to set up my new Stock Chart of the Day website over the next couple of weeks. So we're going to talk about a few things here today. This is going to kind of be fun. I'm going to show you a little bit of my bio, a little bit of my life. And what our Stock Chart of the Day today is going to be about the markets, maybe at support levels. Maybe we're seeing one of these September, October busts here. We're going to see what happens. And INCA 1 had some more good news, one of our sponsor companies. So like I said, let's have some fun with it. It's my birthday. It's the night before my birthday. It's about 7 p.m. here. So I am sipping on some champagne. I love champagne. If anyone knows anything about me, etc. So, and we're going to look at some of this stuff here. So the first thing I'm gonna, because before I go to the the screen sharing, sorry, I just want to turn my phone off too because I don't want people calling me during the show. Okay, so yeah, if anyone knows me and who I am and the whatnot, so this is kind of cool. I still kept this. This is 20 years old, so I feel very old when I show you this right now. So this here is still in the original packaging too. You can see it. Sorry, it looks a little rough because it is 20 years old. So this is my dad's friend's son played on a soccer team. In 2001, we won the championship. This team here in 2003 wasn't as good, but this is when it was still addicted to profits.com. I sponsored the team. What happened was I let the site go for a year. Then somebody took it, and then I turned it into the Skarika letter. And I wanted to go back to Addicted to Profits because that's what people knew me as. And then the guy's trying to sell it for like $7,000 or $8,000. I'm not buying it at profits.com for $7,000 or $8,000. So, and you can see because I am a Raiders fan, the skull and crossbones on the shirts. That's pretty cool, So yeah, that team wasn't really that good though. And yeah, so I guess it was the Raiders. 2003, that was the first year the Raiders actually started going to crap. So maybe that was ominous. So anyhow, we'll look at some things here right now. So this is a little bit about me, about Addicted to Profits. I'm going to put this all in my bio. I kind of did let the website go because I was doing so much in consulting, trading, getting people into deals, etc. Getting client companies for the marketing programs we do. So I've kind of gone back and looked over my track record of the last 25 years. This will be a bit of that. So this was the stock picking contest. So this is almost 25 years ago, like next week will be 25 years ago that I did. Oh, I got to get an article too. I'll have to get off and pause this for a second and get the article that the Globe and Mail did on me too. So Globe and Mail, for all our viewers outside of Canada don't know, this is a huge Canadian newspaper, and they have a stock picking contest where like they have professors, people that work in the finance industry, like the top kind of finance people all over Canada. So I was winning this starting the fourth quarter back in 2003. And at this time, I was like a 25-year-old kid, and I was so excited because it's like, was this 26, but I guess it was 26, 77. Yeah. I just turned 26. But when I started it, I was 25. So Dundas is the town I'm from. And you see, I was up 70%. So what happened was, this guy had picked WestJet. He was 50%, but supposedly someone told me that it was one of these companies here, maybe this Canadian Superior. They had a big promotional group come on and kind of promoted it in the fourth quarter. And that's why I ended up losing. I finished second. So I was really happy with that. Like I said, I was only like 26 years old at the time. I picked Eldorado. I think I finished up like 70 or 80% that year, but I was winning it through three quarters. It doesn't matter though. It's like horse race. If you're winning the horse race between, or you're the best NFL team after 12 games, it doesn't matter if you don't win the Super Bowl, right? So And yeah, I was still pretty proud of that though. That was fun. That was 20 years ago. So like this is making me feel old, you know. So and then also what I did is this is my first book that I published. So I also in 1997 or yeah, when I was like 18 or 19, I got my securities license. And I was like the youngest person in Canadian history that I know of that got securities license. So I still kind of like, again, that's something that I did. So this is the first book that I published, and it was about the NASDAQ, and the stock market was in a big bubble. You want to buy commodities and gold, and that's basically what worked for the next 10 years. The stock market did nothing for the next 10, 11 years. And, gold and commodities went crazy for the next 11 years. You can still buy this on Amazon.com. It's under Dave Skarica, because I guess I was younger, so I like to be called Dave. And I guess you get older, you like to be called David. So it's $40. It's not the cheapest book in the world, but it's almost out of print. Like when I run out of these, I actually buy it off Amazon myself because I only have like a couple copies left. So there you go. And then I wrote this book called The Contrarian That Saved the World. This is a cool little book. It's also on Amazon, but it's only $9. So it's like a fictional story about this guy. He meets this beautiful girl, and this asteroid's going to hit the Earth. And there's this mad scientist kind of guy that is the girl's father, so his stepfather, or sorry, father-in-law. And basically, he believes in his father-in-law. Everyone thinks the guy's mad, and he's like, this asteroid's going to hit the Earth, and we got to find a way to fund my machine to shoot it down, because everyone thinks I'm crazy. The governments think I'm crazy. Financial institutions think I'm crazy. So this guy trades the markets, makes enough money to shoot the asteroid down. And it's kind of like, it again takes place kind of during that .com bubble, when .com, the market tanked and gold and resource stocks went up. So he's shorting the market. He's going along these resource stocks, and that's how he makes the money to do it. So, but it's like a fun book. It's like if you have like a 13, 14-year-old or, kid or whatever, interested in the market, it's a good way for them to kind of learn about that. So that's a bit of my stock, track record. And I'm going to show you something in a second. Yeah. So just to get back to this. So this was also an article. I have a bunch of these. Let's see this. So it says young investor takes history count. Oh my God, look how young I am. My hair is a lot shorter too, and a lot less gray. But again, this is again about, I think this is 2005. Yeah, 27. Yeah. So anyway, I talk about my investing things. This is again in the Globe and Mail, and I talk about some of the stocks I like, etc., etc. Talks about my books. So anyhow, that's basically the deal right there. So this is another article that was done on me. I don't know, you can't really read that. I have to see if there's a link still that online, because some of these things are so old, right? So yeah, so there's another one as well. So we'll go back to the screen share, and we'll go back to stock chart of the day. So let's go to INCA 1. So INCA 1 had August sales of 4 million. You can see year over year, that's 15%. Now, the deliveries and milling and whatever are down because a lot of this, the last quarter, 2 quarters ago, production was delayed. So it got put in the last quarter. So the last quarter was inflated. So I think in the end, you have to just look at it this way. INCA 1 has about $4 million in sales a month. That's US dollars, by the way. And if we go look at INCA 1 stock, which we'll look at right now, it has a $6.3 million Canadian market cap. So it's essentially trading at its monthly sale, or sorry, its quarterly sales, right? In market cap, because 4 million, US is like 5.5 million Canadian. So, at some point it's got to wake up. I think it's going to take gold breaking out to over 2,100 for INCA 1 to break out. So, I'm just picking away at this thing. I buy 5,000 shares here, 10,000 shares here, and that sort of thing. And I think at some point, this is going to be a stock that trades at a much higher price, and I own it. They're a sponsor of Chart of the Day. I've had marketing agreements with them in the past. There's your full disclosure. So this is our Addicted to Profits account. Like I said, starting Thursday, this will be called Stock Chart of the Day, and it's at SCOTDAY. So I want to do SCOTD, right? But that was taken. So SCOTDAY is okay. Stock Chart of the Day. That's so Scott is Stock Chart of the, and day is day. So sign up for this or go look at this, and and then we're gonna do our Patreon, with those paid things that we do on the weekend. I'm gonna launch that this weekend on October 1st. I was gonna do it initially on my birthday, September 27th, but I was like, you know what? I gotta make sure this works properly. I gotta upload videos to Patreon. And I want to kind of, starting at the first of the month makes sense, right? So that's what we're gonna do. So what are our stock charts right now? So we're gonna go. Is the markets. Our stock chart of the day today is going to be the markets breaking support. So the Dow broke its support here at 34,000 and now is below its 200-day moving average. Notice in May it held its 200-day moving average. This is a 5-year chart here. And you can see this here. I think it's about to roll over, and it did go a bit below here. But you can see what happened here when it broke, and then it rallied back to it, and then we had this whole year decline. I think we're topping. I think this is going to be a big move down, et cetera, et cetera. Now, the S&P and the NASDAQ aren't quite there yet. Look at the S&P 500. The S&P is still above. But again, I think this is a failing rally now. At first, this rally was so long and got us so close to the highs, I thought it was. But then when I looked at the internals, and I saw that there were 7 stocks on up average 52% year to date. And then the other 493 companies in the S&P were only up 5%. It's like, I was just like, no, this is probably a longer term bear market rally. And again, if we break the 200 maybe average, is about 4,200, 4,190, probably that's a sign. And look, we're here. We're in the September to October's time frame, and it peaked in the summer. It's feeling a lot like 1937. I'm not going to call that, but that as well. And then we look at the QQQ, which is the NASDAQ, and same thing. NASDAQ is still pretty far above. But again, this kind of looks like a topping formation. This looks actually like similar to where we were in December of last year. And I would expect that in October, we're going to move lower. So we'll have to see what happens. The VIX went up a bit again. But again, if we look at the VIX actually kind of looks like it's starting to move higher. I don't want to say anything, but it kind of looks like it did in 2020, when the COVID crash happened. So I'm not saying we're going to crash, but, we had the VIX at these ultra low levels for a number of months, and boom, it's breaking out. So I think if we make a move above 20, it's going to be a sign volatility is here to be higher and stock prices are here to be lower. And again, if you look at these leading stocks, Microsoft is starting to roll over. There's Amazon. Amazon is starting to roll over. And these are all failing rallies too, by the way. Apple did go to a new high, but Apple is rolling over. NVIDIA was the biggest one. Again, NVIDIA looks like this is a little topping formation in here. So we'll have to see what happens, but it does look like that is happening. So, and these are the stocks, again, these mega companies I'm talking about, Netflix, same kind of thing, starting to roll over, Facebook. Oh, I guess it's Meta, whatever. Meta, not quite there like the others, but if it can break about 280, I would think that as well. But it just looks like these mega companies that kind of driven the averages gains and held everything up are starting to roll over. And then you have stuff like I've said this in the past, the airline index, the XAL. Look how terrible that is. That is actually below now. That big May to June rally is now done. It's actually down. Like if you would have bought the airlines in May, thinking, oh, there's going to be a big rebound in travel this summer, you're actually down like 10% after you could have been up as much as You know, 27, 50% almost, So anyhow, I'm going to leave it at that. So I showed you a bit of my track record. This is the last day of Addicted to Profits on YouTube. I'm going to link Addicted to Profits site to Stock Chart of the Day at some point. Probably over the next week. I'm still going to do the uploads and I'll get all the data switched over there because it's the same thing. So nothing will change with the passwords. Nothing will change with anything, right? It'll just automatically get redirected. So, so I hope you enjoyed this. We'll have the Patreon links up. I showed you a bit about my background. I'm not going to really do very much for my, my birthday. I'm going to upload this chart and do a few more things and business wise and whatever. And it's a Wednesday. It's like the worst day to have a birthday. So I don't care about my birthday anyhow. I'm too old for that crap. Everybody take care and hope you enjoyed this.